Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to your Chelsea news. Nicolas Jackson talks about his competition next season. Estevao expectations have been spoken about. A list of Chelsea players we're looking to sell this summer has been revealed. Chelsea also announced more player loans. A new club is coming in for Christopher Nkunku, and we have some updates regarding Garnacho and Xavi Simons. Now, of course, I'll be giving my own thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. And before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 10k before the end of 2025. Kicking things off, Fabrizio Romano has reported an exclusive that Sunderland have agreed a deal to sign Marc Guiu on loan from Chelsea. No buy option clause and the salary will be covered by Sunderland. Chelsea have officially announced that Mamadou Sarr has joined Strasbourg on a season-long loan. And Matt Law has reported that Chelsea believes that Tyreek George's development will be better served out on loan because they feel like he had a breakthrough season at the end of last season and now he needs to try and play more regularly, and sitting on the bench would do him no good. Now, to be honest, I think these are all very good options, very good moves for these players. Obviously, Tyreek George hasn't officially gone on loan, but they are thinking about it, they're contemplating it, they think it is best for his development. Now, when it comes to Marc Guiu, I think it's a fantastic move to get a Premier League loan where he can get some game time, play in the best league in the world, and really develop his game. We know how much raw talent he has, we know how good he can be, especially at his age, and we know how much of a beast he can then develop into to be part of Chelsea's attacking line later on in his career. I think a move to Sunderland would be unbelievable. Sunderland are doing bits in this market, by the way. They are doing everything they can to have the strongest squad possible to actually stay up in the Premier League, and you have to respect it. You just have to respect it. So if Marc Guiu can get some regular game time in the Premier League, I am all for that. Yes, we know that there's high intensity. We know his potentials. He does need to obviously polish his game. He's only 19 years old, which is the best and worrying thing about it because we know that his potential is up here and we've seen him play in a Chelsea shirt. Some of his goals in the Conference League, his movement, his runs. He is a fantastic player. So I'm actually really happy with that move and happy for Guiu to get some regular game time. When it comes to Mamadou Sarr, I feel like, again, this could be something that works in our favour, sending him back to Strasbourg, where he played last season. We bought him and then we loaned him back. When he was at Cobham and training with the Chelsea first team, there was a lot of whispers internally of saying how good this guy really is. Like, he is unbelievable at this age already. We know how good he was at Strasbourg. He's very good in the air, very defensively intelligent. He's young. You know, he can play with both feet. He can defend in wide areas and central areas. He is the real deal, but he's just young and needs to develop a bit more. Fair enough. Strasbourg, he was one of Strasbourg's best players last season, and we bought him and we've loaned him back. So it's almost like Strasbourg haven't lost out on their player. It's just that the actual paperwork says Chelsea player rather than Strasbourg. So again, I'm actually relatively happy with that as well. It means Chelsea will more than likely go in the market for another centre-back in this summer, now securing Hato to play a majority of the time as a left-back cover for Cucurella, but can also play centrally. So I'm happy with that as well. It makes a lot of sense. And again, with someone like Mamadou Sarr, high potential. People internally at Chelsea are like, he's really good. He could be going straight into the first team. The fact that they've sent him on loan means they've probably got plans for him next season. And hopefully, he isn't one of these players that Chelsea are just going to buy and flip for profit later on down the line. But when it comes to Tyreek George, I totally agree. I think he had a breakout season. He was fantastic last season for the minutes that he got in a Chelsea shirt. We know how good Tyreek George is. That goal against Fulham, runs in the Conference League. He's just a fantastic player. He really, really is. I absolutely love Tyreek George. And because of that, I'm very happy for him to go on loan this season to develop and get regular game time. Because I totally agree with what Matt Law has reported here. He had a breakout end of the season last season. And I'd say it's probably earlier than the end of the season because, again, he had a good run in the Conference League too. But he needs to play regularly. He needs to play regular football. Now, I feel like Tyreek George is already at a level where he could secure a Premier League loan move and get regular game time. He's that good. He's that good. Whoever gets him on loan this season is in for a treat. He is an absolute gem. And if he develops at the rate that he already has shown of his skill level currently, he's going to be an absolute world beater in the next 2 or 3 seasons. He's going to be unbelievable. And again, he is a player that I can see having a long future at Chelsea Football Club. So overall, I'm really happy with these loan moves. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding these. Guiu to Sunderland, do you think that's a good move on his behalf now it's been confirmed? What do you think, your thoughts on Mamadou Sarr? Do you feel like we should have kept him for this season and played him, throughout the competitions, or is a loan move the best thing that we could do? And what are your thoughts about Tyreek George? Would you keep him at Chelsea this season? Do you feel like he would get enough minutes on the left-hand side? with the recruitment of sort of Jamie Gittins, Pedro Neto being able to play left and right, and potentially Xavi Simons getting over the line, who could play as a 10 or on that left-hand side as well. Do you think that Tyreek George would get a lot of minutes across the competitions, or is a loan move the best decision for him? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. In a recent interview, Nicolas Jackson spoke about competition, and this is what he said. He said, "Competition? I have no competition. We're all here to help the club. Everyone has their role to play. I'm on a mission. It's up to the coach to make the choices. I focus solely on my work." Now, I don't really know what to think about this, because this is another example of Nicolas Jackson just talk. We want to see it on the pitch, right? We said this after his first red card incident, and he come out and apologised. We were like, yeah, cool, no worries. And he went out and he scored in the Conference League final. We were like, yeah, fair enough, man. You've apologised with ball in the net. That's your job. You have done well. Thank you very much. He then soon ruins that with the red card in the Club World Cup, and then he comes out and apologises again. And a lot of the fans were like, what is this? What is this poor discipline that he's showing? Is he nervous? Is he just not good enough? Is it just a lack of discipline and footballing intelligence? A lot of the fans are already done with him. They're like, "Yep, sell him in the summer. We've got Pedro, and we've got Delap coming in. We don't need him." The thing is that I've said many times that with Delap and Pedro being instant impacts in a Chelsea shirt, it then puts question marks over Nicolas Jackson's future. Now, I don't really know what to think about what he's saying here specifically. I understand what he's saying. He's saying that everyone's got their role and the coach is going to pick who's best for that job. And I respect that, because he knows his place. In terms of, I've got my role, this is what I need to do, I just need to work hard and focus on me, everyone else is going to do the same, and the coach will pick the best 11. I like that mentality, but there's also the other side of that where he goes, competition, I have none, because I am the best, I am the number 9 at Chelsea, and I will prove that with hard work to showcase to the manager that I should be the number 1, and I'm going to put balls in the net, I'm going to create chances and get assists for the team, and I'm going to show the Chelsea fans, the Chelsea club, Maresca, all the other players that I'm top dog and I'm the number 9. I would much rather hear that from him than, I have no competition because we all have roles to play. It's almost like he's accepted mediocrity in his own work and saying like, yeah, I've got a role to play. I now know that that's changed over the course of this summer because we brought in 2 number 9, or one out-and-out number 9 and another player who could play 9, 10 and a few other positions. And I'm also a 9. So I don't really know how to feel about it. Also, Nicolas Jackson's future, there's question marks over it. It's almost like his future is written on the wall in terms of Chelsea not looking to offload him, but are very happy to listen to offers. Obviously, Newcastle very interested. You had the likes of Barcelona, who can't even register players. They're interested. A lot of the Italian clubs that have now said that they can't afford it, but other than Juventus, who could come in with 60 million. Chelsea, like I said, are sitting pretty because they're not, they're happy for him to stay and develop next season. They're happy for him to be part of Maresca's squad and be, in that rotation with the 3 forwards we now have. But they're also willing to listen to offers and offload him for a massive profit. So in Chelsea's perspective, they're kind of chill with it. In terms of Jackson, if he wants to put his head down and work hard, that's amazing. But he also has to understand that if a club comes in with a big fat check, then he's also off. So maybe it's that as well. Maybe this is what's made him say these things. Like, I know my role. My role is to do the best I can. And subconsciously he's thinking, if a big check comes in for me, I will be gone. So there's no point me saying I'm going to stand here and fight for my position, because I might not be here in the next 4 weeks with the transfer window coming to a close. So it's very interesting. Like I said, I like to hear passion. Like João Pedro was like, yeah, like I was, had a PT on holiday because I knew Chelsea were interested. I wanted to be ready as soon as I picked up the phone. I was like, yeah, I'll be there. Bet goes straight in, fits straight in, scores goals, helps us win the Club World Cup. And it's his sort of mentality and attitude in the interviews. Same with Delap being like, I'm a 9, I don't care about the curse, I'm just here to score goals, bro. That's what I want to do. I really like that sort of edge to what they're saying. And Levi Colwill with this elite mentality and how they want to keep cracking on. Winning trophies is great, but it doesn't stop. Things keep moving. You have to keep going to the next thing. We need preparation. We just want to win. And then it just seems to be like there's a little bit of a difference in the mindset for Nicolas Jackson specifically from this insert anyway, right? Saying, I don't have competition, I have my role and I just do my job. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Do you think Jackson will be at Chelsea next season? Do you think that we will sell him in this summer window? What are your thoughts on what he's saying? I do see where he's coming from, and I agree that everyone does have their role, right? When I speak to the likes of KDH, for example, he knows his role. He's not coming out with fighting talk saying that he wants to be in the first team. He kind of understands that there are players ahead of him in the pecking order. But with Jackson, I feel like it's almost a little bit like, oh, okay, so you're just happy with being a rotation striker now. It seems like you've got no fire to want to be the number 9 for Chelsea. But again, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Nizar Kansila has reported there is an expectation that Estevao will be eased in initially, but he could quickly become a starter if he impresses in training. There is optimism that Estevao will adapt quickly to English life, as he does not drink and is known for being a laid-back person. He will also have his family with him. I absolutely love this. I'm glad that Estevao, we know the talent he's got. The goal he scored against us in the Club World Cup speaks volumes. Not because it was against us, but because of the quality of the goal and the sort of lack of opportunities he had during that game, because Kukurea had him on lock for most of the time. And we've seen what he did last season in South America. This guy is an unbelievable kid. He's a wonder kid. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm glad that Chelsea are keeping him. They're not loaning him out. They're not trying to palm him off for a few seasons of development. They know he's ready. They know he's ready. He's one of the top world talents currently, and we are very blessed and very lucky that he puts on a Chelsea shirt from the 4th of August. I am so excited to see him play in a Chelsea shirt. I've also been one of these fans that have said that he's going to need to adapt to English football and English life. He is going to need to be eased in. He's not going to walk straight into that starting 11 and play every single game. However, I do not think it's going to take long. I think Estevao will be a regular starter by, let's say, late October, early November. That's my predictions. I feel it's going to take a few months, and there's a lot of games in that period for him to kind of adapt, get the minutes up, get his confidence of playing in the Premier League. I could be horribly wrong. Happy to be proved wrong. If he's a regular starter by the start of October, I'd be gassed. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the end of September, I'd be gassed. But I just think with the him adapting to English culture, the English league. I love the fact he doesn't drink. Obviously, he's very young. He's laid back, and he does have his family with him. That's amazing. This kid is ruthless as well. He is absolutely ruthless. Like he was saying in the press conferences during the Club World Cup, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be a Chelsea player after, but I play for Palmeiras and I want to win. If I score, I'm celebrating. I don't care that I'm going to that's my future employer. I'm going there in a few weeks. Right now, Palmeiras for life. And I just rate that. I respect it. And he did. He scores a banger and he celebrated, like his life depended on it. He loved it. I absolutely love the fact that Estevao is going to be a Chelsea player. So I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. What were your expectations for Estevao this season in a Chelsea shirt? Do you expect him to walk into the starting 11 and be a starter from pretty much day one, between the 4th of August and when the season starts for a very short pre-season? Can he do enough to impress Maresca to then be in the starting 11? Or do you feel like it is going to take a few months for him to adapt and become a regular in the starting 11? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Nico Schura has reported that Enzo Maresca wants 15 Chelsea players to leave this summer, and I've got a long list of players here. And I saw it and wanted to go through it with you guys because I feel like most of it's right, but there's a couple on there I think have got question marks. So, for example, Christopher Nkunku, we know that he is off. We're going to speak about him later on in the video, so make sure you keep watching. Axel Disasi, yep, we know he is gone. Benoit Badiashile, there's a lot of Chelsea fans who want him gone, and I hear you. I was not his fan at the start of the season, for most of the season, but he has changed my mind a little bit, and he has improved in the second half of the season. However, there's been reports from Maresca and Benoit Badiashile separately in a similar time frame saying that Benoit Badiashile was saying, I will be a Chelsea player next season. I am part of Maresca's plans. That's what, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be a Chelsea player, which was very conflicting because a few months ago he was saying, I don't know if I'll be at Chelsea next season. I'm just taking every game as it comes. I want to stay here, but I don't know what the plans are. So that changed very drastically. So to see him on this list confuses me a little. So I would like to know your thoughts on opinions on Benoit Badiashile being on this. Do you think he will be at Chelsea after what's been said recently with him saying he's going to be at Chelsea next season? Or do you think Enzo Maresca has changed his mind and gone, yeah, we want to get rid of him this summer? Leslie Ukachukwu, obviously we know we're looking to offload him. Ben Chilwell, Raheem Sterling, Alfie Gilchrist, Carney, Dewsbury Hill. We know that they're all off, right? They're all off ski. Then you've got Nicolas Jackson. Again, we spoke about him previously in this video. I don't think we're actively looking to sell them, and I don't think Maresca wants him gone. Again, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I feel like the situation is, if the right offer comes in, yeah, buy. But if it doesn't, yeah, cool, you're part of the plans for at least the season, and then we can reevaluate things. So I thought that was very interesting that he's on the list. Apparently, Enzo Maresca wants him to go. Again, we could be proven wrong. He may actually want him to go, and we're just trying to handle it the best way we can to get the most amount of money out of him as possible. Marc Guiu has secured his loan move to Sunderland. Renato Vega was on the verge of signing for Atletico, but that fell through. Aaron Anselmino, I don't think it's go as in buy, it's more loan move. We haven't really had many stories on that other than the fact that he's not going to go to Strasbourg and they're looking for an external loan move for him. But as soon as we hear anything, obviously we will be reacting to that news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions of where you think he will end up on loan this season. Do you think it will be a European club? Do you reckon he'll go back to South America? Do you reckon it'll be an English club? What sort of flight of football do you think it would be? Very interested to know your thoughts regarding that. Armando Broja, Chelsea have actually set a £25 million asking price for Broja. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that personally. However, yeah, it's very clear that Broja wants to go and Chelsea want to go on an amicable level. They both said, I think a clean cut is probably the best way of doing it this summer. So I'll be very interested to see who comes in and picks him up. And then David Datro Fofana, which really baffles me because this guy had a lot of potential. We saw him play minimal minutes in a Chelsea shirt, but you can see he was very raw, very talented, and with a bit of coaching and a bit of development, he would have been an absolute world beater. We got him fairly cheap as well, I believe. I think it was single-digit millions. It might have been just touching the double digits. I'm not entirely sure. He went on loan. He got injured. He had to recall back from loan. Haven't really heard anything about him. So I'm very surprised that Chelsea are looking to offload him this summer because, again, unless it is a loan move, I'd understand a loan move to go and develop for sure, but to actually sell him, I'll be very surprised because there was a lot of internal talk around him saying that he's really good. Like, we just need to, refine him. He's a very raw player, but as he develops, he will be incredible. So I just thought I'd go through this list because there's a couple of names on here that I just didn't think should have been on the list in terms of Enzo Maresca wants them gone. But also, I want to play a game with you guys. How much money out of that list of players do you think Chelsea can generate in sales? Because just by looking at it, that looks like a fair chunk of money. That's easily over 100 plus million, maybe 130, 140 million, depending on the price. Even if you're lowballing some of them, going, Sterling for 20 million, Alfie Gilchrist for 10 million, Chilwell for 10 million, Leslie Kachuk will probably get you somewhere around like 18 to 20 million. Disassi 25 million. Nkunku, we're looking to get 43, maybe even if we took 35. It just adds up. Carney for 40, Keenan Dewsbury Hall for 30. Jackson would be around, like 80, well, between 65 and 80. Guiu's alone. Vega, they wanted 40 million or 35 million. They'll probably reduce that a little bit now. That's a lot of money. So I'd like to know what you guys think the total amount would be in the comments of all of those players if we sold them, other than the ones that we know have gone on loan. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Fabrizio Romano has reported that Simons and Garnacho are separate topics. It's not either, it's both. Chelsea want both players. Let's see what happens. I'm not the one taking care of the talks, so let's wait. Chelsea are working on both deals. He continues to report that Chelsea are very convinced on Garnacho as an opportunity. His name is mentioned internally every day, and it's going to be about price tag. I keep telling you about Garnacho and Chelsea. Yes, Fabrizio, you will not shut up about Garnacho to Chelsea. He also reports that Alejandro Garnacho is keen on joining Chelsea and it's his priority in January and is still keen on the move this summer. Chelsea is considering bidding later this month. And Matt Law has reported that Chelsea have no concerns over the character of Alejandro Garnacho after carrying out a series of background checks on the Manchester United winger. There is so much to unpack here. Like I just briefly said, Fabrizio Romano will not shut up about the links of Garnacho to Chelsea. He's been going on about it for like 6 months. It's not going away. Even when there's nothing to talk about, he's like, oh yeah, Garnacho to Chelsea. Is this happening? It's coming. And I get it. It's his job, right? And it's no disrespect to Fabrizio. I love what he does. The same with Ornstein and all these other reporters. I think that's great. It keeps us in the loop and allows us to have conversations and react to stuff, right? It's amazing. But I am getting very sick of the whole Garnacho to Chelsea stuff because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Now, what has been made very, very clear is it's not going to go away, these links. Chelsea are going to go in for Garnacho, and it's looking like this month of August is when Chelsea are going to be bidding. Now, I personally believe that Chelsea will go in for Garnacho very close to when the window closes, so we can try and force Man United's hand and pay a lot less money than they are after. We spoke about it in yesterday's video. Man United want £40 million. Chelsea don't want to spend any more than £30 million. We've also discussed the options, and I've given my thoughts and opinions on potentially a try before you buy. Loan him for a season with an obligation to buy and a fine to send him back, like we did with Jadon Sancho. That's what I would personally like to do with Garnacho, because then there's just no pressure on everyone. The club, the player, the coach, everyone. But it looks like Chelsea are adamant on signing Garnacho. Now, I've been listening and talking to you guys in the comments like I do every single day, and there's a lot of you that are a lot more open to the Garnacho move now as time's gone on because, he's young, he has Premier League experience. It could be the environment that he's in at Manchester United that's making him sort of lash out or have these discipline issues or attitude problems. And to be fair, one thing I will say is they said all of the same things with Jadon Sancho before he came to Chelsea. And at Chelsea, everyone said that he was a top professional, trained hard, worked hard, had got on with the lads and just wanted to play football. Maybe it is the environment. I don't really know. And look, I've made my opinions very clear about Garnacho. I would love a loan, like a try before you buy for sure. And I'd also said if Chelsea want to go in at 30 million, then I feel like Chelsea are in an incredible position, because if it doesn't work, we can flip him for more money 2 or 3 years down the line. And he's still very young with a lot of Premier League experience. There is a very good player in Garnacho. He just needs to be consistent. And again, he still needs to develop. He's had 3 years in the Premier League in a very turbulent Manchester United side. He's had some very, very good moments and very inconsistent moments. Maybe Enzo Maresca can coach the best out of him. Maybe playing in a team with another Argentine like Enzo Fernandez would really help. We don't really know, but we're probably going to find out. At this stage, Chelsea fans, it's a stage of acceptance. We need to accept the fact that Chelsea are going to go buy Garnacho in this summer window. Whether or not it's 30 million, whether it's 40 million, whether it's a loan deal, I don't know. Whether it's a potential swap with Nicolas Jackson going Manchester United for big money and Garnacho coming to us and then we keep the difference, I don't know. Probably not, because I think there are talks with Sesko right now. And they look the favourites over Newcastle, which again, it's a bit of an L for Newcastle this summer window, isn't it? But you're more than welcome to come take Jackson if you want. Just saying. But when it comes to Garnacho, I think for us guys, we have to accept the fact that he probably will be a Chelsea player by the end of the window. And I'm not sad about it. I've also said in yesterday's video that or maybe the day before, I will back any player that puts on a Chelsea shirt until they give me a reason not to. Because that's what fans do, right? We support our club, we support the players, we support the manager until they give us a reason not to. So I wouldn't be sad or mad about the move at all. I would be a bit confused because I feel like, and again, I'm open to being and happy to be proven wrong. I just don't see how Garnacho improves the current squad. We go get a player like Hato, makes perfect sense. A player like Xavi Simons, question marks, but it also makes sense in terms of ability and variability of what he can play as a player position-wise. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. When you say someone like Garnacho, I'm like, okay, he's got a lot of potential. How does he improve the squad though? Obviously he's a left winger. But we've got Gittins, and then you've got João Pedro could play on the left, and you've got, if we get Xavi Simons, he can play on the left too. So where's he going to play? Well, are we buying him just because he's an opportunity and then going to sit him on the bench all season? I highly doubt that. So that's where I'm just a bit confused with it. It's a bit of a sideways move in my opinion. But hey, I don't want to keep banging on about Garnacho too much. Obviously, I react to the news and give my opinions and ask for your opinions down below. And I'm very aware that some of you are very passionate about not speaking about Garnacho, and some of you are. So this is why I love talking to you guys. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. As time's gone on, has your opinion of Garnacho to Chelsea changed? It's more than human to actually change your opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just curious, would you think that Garnacho could work very well at Chelsea? Because I think it could either go one or two ways. I think it can go incredibly well because he's got an Enzo Fernandez next to him. He's got an Enzo Maresca with his arm around his shoulder, and he brings out the best of him because he's part of a well-functioning team where things are starting to click now with a winning mentality, an elite mentality, and we're starting to win things consistently, and we're looking to crack on and push on as a unit. And I feel like if he can slot into that and get on board, he'd be an unbelievable player. Or it can go horribly wrong, where he comes in and disgruntles and tries to disassemble these things because I don't know, where maybe he doesn't fit in as well as he thought he would or whatever. I can see it go either route. So obviously I'd want the more positive route for sure. But I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding Garnacho. Fabrizio Romano also reported that Xavi Simons' conversations remain ongoing. Work in progress also on the contract. It's important for Chelsea to sell players to create some space and then to try and complete the situation and deal for Simons. He continues to say that Chelsea hope to reduce the price of Xavi Simons also because he has 2 years left on his contract. He continues to say that Xavi Simons absolutely remains a deal ongoing and clubs are still talking directly, the same as the player side, work in progress on the contract. It's also important for Chelsea to create space, to sell players and then come complete the situation. He then finishes the report by saying Xavi Simons to Chelsea now has a 75% chance of happening now. I don't know what this here we go meter is, if I'm being honest. I think it's just something he's created, but fair enough, it is what it is. We had the same thing with João Hato, the one of the 2 deals that we are looking to complete. João Hato deal took a long time to get over the line, but it seems very different in terms of João Hato was very happy to sign personal terms, commit to Chelsea, not play the pre-season, and just wanted the move and was pushing for the move. Xavi Simons seems to be a bit different in that sense, where he does want the Chelsea move. They're still ongoing with the personal terms and the contract side of things. He's still playing pre-season for RB Leipzig. But he's very open to the Chelsea move. Leipzig are open for Xavi to go to Chelsea. They're just trying to negotiate that fee. And this is taking a long, long time. Now, the same thing happened with Christopher Nkunku, except a lot of it was behind closed doors until it was then made public when the deal was going ahead. I don't feel like we're going to miss out on this deal. But I understand the frustrations of a lot of fans that are saying, yes, it's gone on so long, we're going to fumble the bag. We're going to fumble this deal. He is not coming to Chelsea. I just feel like there is always 1 or 2 deals that go a long time over the transfer window, and they try and get as much as they can out of it. We had it with Osimhen, we had it with Lukaku, we had it with lots of players over the years. They're just the 2 I can think of off the top of my head. Potentially Xavi Simons is one of those players. Shoreau Hato was done. I predicted that Hato and Simons would be done fairly quickly between each other, so then they could do the whole double Dutch announcement, but it doesn't look that way as of right now. But the here we go meter says 75% chance of happening, so it's gone up 5% because it was Hato 80%, Xavi Simons at 70% a few days ago. So I still feel confident that Chelsea will get this deal done. I think there's another side of this that we spoke about many times, Christopher Nkunku being linked to go to RB Leipzig, like a reunion, and then also they wanted Carney Chukwuemeka. So it was like, maybe that is what the hold-up is in terms of Xavi Simons coming to us. They're still trying to work out the other part of that deal. But I would love to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding Xavi Simons to Chelsea. The 75% chance of happening. Your thoughts on the here we go meter. Let me know about that, because again, I've never heard of that until yesterday. Do you think that this deal is still going ahead? Will Xavi Simons be a Chelsea player by the end of the summer window, or will Chelsea fumble this deal? And Matt Moretto on Fabrizio Romano's Italian YouTube channel has reported that Inter's alternative to Lookman, if they do not get him between tomorrow and Saturday morning, will be Nkunku. There would also be an issue with his high salary though. Now this is very interesting to me, because we're looking to offload Nkunku for around 40 to 43 million pounds, anywhere around that. That's what Chelsea have come out and said. We spoke about it recently on the channel. And then obviously I just spoke about Leipzig. They are interested in potentially a Nkunku reunion. Xavi Simons going one way, Nkunku going the other. I think that would be a perfect swap deal in terms of like for like. There's also the emotional connection between Nkunku and Leipzig because he did very well there before. But now we're looking like we're getting more and more suitors coming in for interested in picking up a Christopher Nkunku for around that money. Salary-wise, I totally get it. He's on about 190 grand a week currently. So if they don't want to pay that, fair enough. Seems like the Italian teams either have money for the transfer fee and not for the wages, or they don't have the transfer fee but they can pay the wages. No club seems to have both. They don't have money like the Premier League. They just don't. Right? Juventus have come in and said, we'll have 60 million for Jackson if we can't get our target. If we move Vlahovic on, we'll come in and do that. But again, they also said as long as the wages weren't prohibitive. Luckily enough, Jackson isn't on diabolical wages, so it makes a lot of sense, right? So it'd be very interesting to see how this plays out, because you've got Bayern that's interested, Leipzig that are interested. At one point you had Manchester United and various other Premier League teams that were interested in Nkunku. And now it looks like Inter are saying, if we can't get Lookman between Friday and Saturday, we're going to try and go get an Nkunku. So it'd be very interesting to see where Nkunku ends up at the end of the transfer window. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Where do you think he's going to end up, and how much do you think Chelsea will get for him? If Inter come in and say, look, we will pay the 43.5, let's say 44 million pounds for him, or 40 million plus 4 and add-ons, whatever it may be, it's just down to wages. Do you think Nkunku would price himself out of a move and say, well, I'm not moving unless I get 200 grand a week? I don't know what the conversion is to euros to pounds. It's a lot shorter, or a lot closer than you know, other currencies when it's terms of wages. It still confuses me. But if he's on about 180, 190 grand a week here in pounds, I don't know. Do you think he could outprice himself out of a move just to be smart and wait for the right club? Who knows? Or do you think he will take that deal and happily reduce his wages to go and play in the Italian league? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And that's all our latest Chelsea news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one. And I mean that. You're a real one. But secondly, there'll be a thumbnail appears on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail because you'll enjoy that video too.